Alrighty, there we go. And for me, I just had to start the stream back up. So now we're going to create a new project. Right now, I'm actually in the tutorial project, the one that I've already done. So if you want to see what we're going to end up with, this is going to be the game we end up with. So right now it looks empty, and it's going to create a city. It's going to randomize us a city, and then create us some objects. So yeah, these little red enemies, and you can charge your bow up and shoot your bow at the enemies to kill them. So this is, this is really basic. So you can see clearly like what's going on. For example, if you click, the arrows will come out and have at a very low velocity. Whereas if you click and hold and charge and release, you'll see that they come out at a much higher rate of speed. So you can really get them going all the way. Come on, I know you're gonna hit it. I know I'm close. There we go. Boom. So yeah, so this is what we're going to be working on. In this case, I have to Control P out of it because I did a cursor lock. Control P, by the way, is the shortcut for hitting the play button. So if you're playing a game and you have the cursor locked, Control P will stop the game. So anyway, so let's create a new project. So our new project is going to be called Unity Tut 2. You can name it whatever you want and make sure that it has the 3D selected right here. If you're using another version of Unity, this will look a lot different. And then right now I just have my C workspace Unity 5 projects. So I'm going to create my project and it'll refresh Unity here. Alright, so now we have our world here. So let's talk about how to get around the editor. So this section right over here, where you see main camera and directional light here, this is our hierarchy. This is where all of our objects go in the scene. So anytime if the object is already in the scene, then it's going to be located right over here on this hierarchy. Then if you go down here, this is your project. So everything in your game, all your assets, are going to be located in the assets folder down here. So in here is where you would create your folders and your scripts and your materials. And so we'll create a hierarchy for our folder system so that it's easy to get around in a little bit. Right here is your console. This section here is where all of your errors and your bugs and stuff are going to be. So if something is going wrong, check here to see what it says. I definitely recommend, if you can't figure out what it is right away, double check your code and then try Google searching the error. The error code will tell you a whole lot about what is going on with your game. And then over here is the inspector window. Right now you can't see a whole bunch, but if I click on the main camera here, it tells me everything I need to know about the camera. So the clear flag, background color, things like that. So you'll see that it has a position. I have the position. I can also rotate and scale the camera. Scaling cameras doesn't technically work very well. If you want to change how your camera works, you want to change things like your field of view, including planes. So this is your 3D camera. So your viewport into the thing. And if I come in here, so if you, in your scene, this is your scene here, and so you're going to right click the scene and that'll let you look around like this, and then while in the scene, if you right click and then use the WASD keys, that will let you move around the scene, as well as if you want to select multiple objects in the scene, you can do a left click and do a select, and then you can move those objects with the movement selector. So there are a bunch of buttons up here. Right now I have the movement selector, so as you can see, it's this little arrow here. So you'll see the three axes for the Y, the X, and the Z coordinates. Actually, I believe that's in Z right now. But so those coordinates are all modifiable. Then there's the rotation button right up here in the corner. This lets you rotate an object by clicking one of the axes and turning the object. So I can turn it this way and this way. And you can see the camera preview down here. As I turn the camera, you can see that the horizon, the skybox horizon changes. And then I can rotate it like this, which is left and right, and then I can rotate it. Come here, camera. And then I can grab this one and I can rotate it up and down. So I'll reset those back to rotation 0 because I don't want to rotate it right this second. So that's a lot about the window here. If you're just starting Unity for the first time, you'll probably also see this window right here as a tab up here. So this is your game window. So this is what it looks like from your current camera's perspective. So if I were to, for example, add an object, so I come over here and I can right-click and add an object. We're going to add a cube to the scene. And then I can move the cube so that the cube is inside of the field of view of the camera, right? And so if I come over to the game, if I come to the game view, you can see that the cube is in the game view. So the cube is visible by the camera. So now that we've covered a little bit about the actual editor here, let's get into creating some objects, and let's create our hierarchy and then get into creating some objects.